Okay, it's recording.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Just Juicy podcast. It's your host, Juicy Justine, here to talk about all things juicy in life, getting raw and real. So thanks for listening, and happy to have you here. Hello, welcome back to the Just Juicy podcast. It's your host, Juicy Justine, and I'm here gathered today with two legends, vegan and freedom fighters, Instagram famous, Jonny Juicer and Ben Raue, plant-based Ben.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Good to be here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
This is a great setup too.
Yeah.
I'm totally digging that intro.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored that you guys are here today. There's so much good things to talk about that the world needs to hear, especially with crazy times we're living in.
What are you talking about? I'm not really familiar with anything happening out there.
This is my water, right?
That's your water.
Oh yeah, that's your water.
Excellent.
Well, I'm honored to be here. There's like so much to cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You guys.
Where do we start?
Right, like where do we start? Freedom's for us first. That's for sure. We need to free ourselves in order to free the other beings on this planet.
Amen.
That's multi-layered, right? Freeing ourselves. So when you think about that, like freeing ourselves has two aspects to it, right? We free ourselves from the system, but we also have to free our minds from the hate, from the anger, from the mindset of being trapped in a system. So I think there's two areas like that to cover. What are your thoughts?
I agree.
Definitely.
And I also think that's what we're seeing with the people on the opposite side of the spectrum as well. The fear in a different sense.
Yeah. There is fear on both, there's fear on both sides. One side fears getting sick and getting affected by the virus, and the other side fears global dictatorship.
Yeah.
Which could both happen.
But we're trying to.
How we create
I feel,
world.
Ben. I feel like we're starting to get in that groove where we're a little of both. Kind of like after that Jeff podcast, like the mindset is starting to get into that solution based, right?
Yes,
That's where I'm at.
Me too.
That's while doing the work, right?
Yeah.
We got to focus on solutions for sure.
Well, that's it. It's like, we were talking with Jeff Weissman last week, and he said, forget it. I'm not going to focus so much on waking people up or arguing with people about masks in stores. It's like, forget that. It's time to focus on getting the land, getting ourselves out of the system, from the legal system, focusing on solutions for what this new world already looks like, because it's inevitable right now. It's just a matter of moving to that new system. And the sooner we do that and the more we put our energy there, the more prepared we're going to be. So it makes sense, focusing on solutions and not spending so much time on the problem.
Well,
Like dwelling on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it gives like optimism and hope that we're creating something brand new. I can't wait to go back. Shout out to Jeff Weitzman.
Yeah.
We're going to meet up a couple times, and he wants to show me some land out there that, we talked off the record where there's water, to be self-sustainable. And here, I didn't even know San Diego, there was places like that. So
All the technology's there, you get solar panels, you've got, right? Off grid. And, that's the direction. It's feasible. And I think maybe this is just the push that is needed for us to get launched and actually do these things we've been excited about and thinking about, for some of us, for a decade.
yeah, dreaming about.
Yeah.
Now it's like forcing us into that way of living that we all dream and desire about. It's around the corner. I feel it.
It's up to us, right?
Yep.
You got to get out of the matrix. It's what it feels like nowadays here.
But hasn't it always been? When you think about it, it's like, what is freedom, right? Coming back to the concept of freedom.
It's a good question.
Well, we'll think about freedom from this standpoint. Most of us think we're free. But are we free if we're at a job working 9 to 5, and are we free to go and do what we want? No, if we lose our job, we lose our car, we lose our house. So there's a fear of that type of freedom, of just being free to do what you want when you want. I think very few people have that.
It's kind of messed up, right? Because we're brought into this world, and like high school, whether you go to college or not, and then a job, and then you find yourself like maybe 25 to 35 age range, and you're like, damn, I don't want to be doing this, and I can't quit and go pursue what I want, because then I need money to, you know what I mean? So it's like you're locked into this system that when you start realizing what your potential is and that you can create and manifest anything in this life, it's like you're kind of stuck.
Right. What happens that I see is, it's that common pattern. It's like you get out of college usually, right? And then you've got $50,000, $100,000 in debt these days. And then what do? You get a job, and now you're making $50,000 a year, whatever it is. And so you're excited. So you buy a car, you get a promotion, and you save up a little bit. Now you buy a townhome. But now you've got all of these things that you own, and the more you own, it can end up owning you, because the more you're locked into, the less freedom you have. And of course, there's a place and a time to get assets to acquire, but it's a slippery slope. And that's that American dream. I don't know, it's not too dreamy to me.
Yeah, I felt ultimate freedom when I finally left a 12-year job, moved out of this city, and just went to California. It's like, okay, I'm free. I don't have nothing holding me back. Can continue to create on whatever level I want to,
Yeah.
And it's a very liberating feeling.
That's true prosperity.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when I was stuck in that job where I'm like, oh, I'll never leave. I'm going to retire here. Good benefits. And that's like, you can have it.
Where would you be if you stayed with them?
How many years?
Say you stayed there, you never found out about juicing.
Well, it would be 5 years later, so I'd be there 18 years.
How would your health be right now?
Probably terrible. Probably terrible. I'd probably be boosted up. Scared.
Yeah.
It's a great question. Probably sicker, bigger. Yeah.
But you're not that.
But I'm not. I got to break free.
And break others free.
It's crazy because my family at the time thought I was crazy. They're like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Like 12 years, you have a 401k, medical, everything. And I said goodbye. And then it took them a couple years to see, and they're like, okay, I see. I got it. Because that's just old school mentality, 9 to 5, save your money, buy a house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break the generational curse.
There you go.
Yeah. Same here. You said 12 years. I was about 15 years in corporate America. And then I decided, all right, I've got these golden handcuffs on. It's like they're golden, so you don't want to take them off because they're made of gold. They pay well. But at the same time, I was miserable. I walked into my business partner's office and I said, I'm out of here. Just give me a small amount to buy me out of the company. I'm gone. And my plan, sit on park benches and meditate as long as I can. So that's what I gave up. And it was the best decision I ever did.
Because it's brought you here today.
That's why, because I'm here at this moment.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's like our most creative hours of the day are like when we get up, afternoon. And it's like those are being used to work someone else's dream. By the time we get done, we're extremely tired. We don't want to create anything. We plop on the couch, order some food, and the life cycle in the Matrix begins.
Yeah, over and over.
That's it.
And then you wake up one day to do it all, to retire when you're 65, when you're basically too old to want to do anything anymore.
I was just going to say, most of these people are so unhealthy, have no identities, maybe not even make it that far, you know?
That's a risk too.
That's reality.
You get your money when you retire at 70, when the age, what is it, 79 years old or 78 is the age expectancy?
Yeah, right.
You get 8 years to live after busting your ass for the last 40 years.
We got to live now. The power of now.
The power of now.
The power of now. That was the book that prompted me and motivated me to take the leap.
Dude, the audiobook.
That's it.
That part of it was me leaving too. Him,
really?
Ralph Smart. Yeah, a bunch of Wayne
Ralph
Dyer. Yeah.
Wow.
Some Wayne Dyer. I know he's the Dow. I know you're a huge fan of that.
I am, yeah.
But yeah, just helping me to believe in myself, you know, because nobody else was.
Aw, and then when you believed in yourself,
You become limitless.
yes, we love that.
Self-empowered.
We have we're enslaved mentally in so many ways. We need to break free from the simple surface level understanding of how we should be living in America or in anywhere.
But think of that hypnosis. I mean, there was something about, I think, all of us who see that. We're like, that doesn't make sense. Living in a cubicle doesn't make sense to be doing this. Doesn't make sense. These mandates don't add up. It doesn't make sense eating normal food in the grocery store and cow's milk. It doesn't make sense. So I think there's just a mindset of either you question everything or maybe you just don't question anything.
Exactly.
It's good to question everything.
I was thinking about that today because on that Truth O'Clock page, I posted that video,
I saw
right?
that.
And some lady's like, you know, I used to follow you for you and Noah, but you have been spreading such false information. And I'm like, you know, I can't even say nothing bad to this woman because it's like you're just on a different consciousness level.
Vibration.
Like when you're consumed and you're only watching TV and what the media is telling you, that's your existence, that's your reality. Like I feel bad, you know, like how else are you supposed to come back? Yell at them? They don't know anything else. That's their reality that they've been programmed with.
Amen. It's like they're forgiven for they don't know what they're doing, you know, and they think the same thing. They're probably having a similar conversation about us. Well, forgive them. No, they probably don't think that. They just think we're out to like hurt people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I don't know. We got to have more of these conversations with people. I think that's going to be, we should get some people on your podcast here.
Oh my God.
With that, just like somebody who's just furious and then be like, save it all for the podcast. And then I'll talk to them on the other end.
Like a debate.
Oh, they might throw themselves through that sliding glass window right there because they're going to go crazy with you trying to break that down. Because once you start making sense of it, like you start like malfunctions in their consciousness. They're like, wait a second, no. But it's like when you bring enough truth, it's like at what point do they break and say, shit, I'm living in this lie, this... I snap out of it, you know?
Yeah.
At what
like
point?
a spell.
A spell.
It's a
exactly.
spell. It's a hypnosis, what is it? Mass formation psychosis.
Boom.
That's what's going on right now.
It summarizes it so well.
People are awakening though.
How about
Fast.
they are
Faster than it in the beginning, for sure.
Here's the name of the podcast coming up. It's either you have to guess what's going to happen between these people. Are they going to hug it out at the end or duke it out? Hug it out or duke it out.
That's
so are they
cool.
Are they going to come to an agreement or is it going to just be a blow up?
That's great.
I wonder if we can all come together on mandating freedom like we did in Washington, D.C. this weekend.
That was great, huh?
Yeah, that was that was so inspiring.
What about New York, though?
And you?
That's a mini win right there.
All
with
around the
masks.
world, right?
The Supreme Court.
That is big.
Oh,
That is a win.
oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yet I hear some people, some areas, somebody sent me a private DM and said, I don't want my name being tied to this, but she got the documents out of her school and said they're still going to mandate the masks despite the Supreme Court ruling.
Unbelievable.
I know.
That's so bad for the children, like growing up, and they can't even see expression.
It's
like taking their humanity away.
It's taking a lot away, and for a false sense of hope, because the science doesn't add up that that's doing any benefit at all, and probably significantly more damage on a health and a psychological level.
So sad.
I know. I saw my niece. Went to pick her up from school.
I saw her. She's cute.
Yeah.
I have a video. I picked her up from school and she came out with a mask on. I get that. I go, get that thing off your face.
that
And
face
I kissed her
diaper
right away. I'm like, let me see that beautiful face.
Aww.
Yeah. I don't know. If I had kids, I would not be ever masking them.
Ever.
Only for
because
Halloween.
Yeah, that'd be fully. You get them fully boosted, right? Fully triple. You're gonna go with the full boost.
In the back seat. That's it.
Boosters.
Like Justine's on. That's the only booster.
Yeah, I have a booster on this chair, and I'm wearing my good news shirt about the COVID survival rates.
There you go. Show it off.
It's from
Make sure-
pandemic.unmasked.com.
Thank you. You remembered it. That's my site, actually.
Yep. Ben Raue created it.
I did. It's a pet project. I haven't really done much of the marketing, but good news, and it talks about the survival rates. Yes, those are CDC 2020 numbers, so just letting you know.
Yeah, whatever the CDC says, right?
Well, they haven't let us down so far, have they?
It's funny.
Where do we even begin with that?
Yeah, where do we begin on that?
How about the truckers? This might be outdated.
Oh, yeah.
This is interesting because when people listen to this podcast, they'll be going, oh, that was the time when the truckers were doing their thing. So predictions, what's going to happen? So basically in Canada, 50,000 truckers, 500,000 people supporting in this movement. They're all going to Ottawa, to the capital, to let Trudeau what they think, I guess, is really what's happening, right?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're doing that.
I hope that happens everywhere, man. I feel like it's going to. Like, there's momentum going into this event. That's why I'm excited in Chicago, just because this is happening everywhere. I mean, it's getting big. Finally, it's like I don't feel crazy no more. You know, I was starting to feel crazy when you're looking around and nothing's going on. But now people are hosting these events and rallies and doing what they're doing in Canada, and we got the power.
Power in the people. It always has been.
There's many people are coming over to understanding the side of the significance of freedom and the side of truth, if you just want to call it that. But there's nobody going to the other side. Have you met anybody who saw eye to eye with us and they're like, you know what, I did some more research and I'm changing my mind and I realized those mandates are good things. You can't unlearn the truth.
Right.
Once you see it, you can't unlearn it.
No. Once you see it and continue going down the rabbit hole, you get more pissed because there's so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely.
World Economic Forum.
Well, that's the thing. Like that lady today, it's like, hey, there's stuff in plain sight that you're just turning on the news, reading headlines, and getting upset at people trying to wake you out of this spell. Like, you think that we're making this up, that the information's out there. Like you said, World Economic Forum. There's so much stuff out there. You can Google and see it right there, documents. It's like the data. But we're just following along. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care.
As George Carlin, that's Johnny and I come back to that all the time because it just kind of expresses how people are just going about their day. But, you know, it sounds like a very radical statement to say there's a global totalitarian takeover, meaning there's like a truly a breaking down of our rights on a global basis to roll in a new system that's going to have more power and control and less freedom for humanity. And they're going to push that towards a unified government. And if that sounds radical to somebody listening, then, you know, basically they're going to realize, you can hear the dog nice and clear in there, and you're going to realize that the dots do connect and it does make sense. And, you know, when you have people like Robert Malone and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and well-respected, well-educated people coming out and saying, no, this isn't just about financial profits from Big Pharma. This is a whole restructuring of the globe on a economic and political spectrum. And that is the bigger picture, you know. And then people say, you're just being selfish. You just, you know, put on the mask. It's like, there's so much more to this. So much more.
And it's so crazy because you'll say all of that to people, but yet they'll slowly in these little increments maybe bring in the digital currency, right? Maybe bring in the passports, and the people will say, okay, yeah, it's good. The passports are good. You know, we can keep getting boosted, keep feeling good, you know, not being, you got your shot so you feel like you're safe. And then the digital currency, yeah, because the money's dirty. You know, it's like there's so many little things that they can throw out there that here 2 years now, people have been speaking up about everything in order that's happened.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. Like, these people are just like, oh, yeah. Just walking and still just agreeing with whatever comes their way. And it's terrible. That's the most frustrating thing is like, why aren't these people questioning? It's been 2 years. Everything we've said since the beginning, literally in order, has happened. coming to the passports.
100%. I think that's so significant to say that. I mean, we were calling, not just to say, oh, I was calling, but the people who have connected the dots and saw what was going on and started listening to the alternative experts who are now considered a lot of the mainstream experts in the movement. But you look at it, they were calling the vaccines before the vaccines were released. They were calling that they were going to be mandatory before they were. They were calling on the food shortages, which we're just starting to see. We're calling on, the boosters. We knew there was going to be multiple of that. We were calling on the lies about the masks and how the masks aren't effective. All of that. All of this was already called 2 years ago. And...
long before that, even books written.
Yeah,
way before.
I'll never forget the very beginning. One of the very first posts I saw somebody talking about a mask was Kelly Brogan post. Well, I didn't know Eno yet, and Eno had made a post of a guy in a mask, and it says nothing. What did it say? It said something along the lines of like, nothing says like the loss of freedom of speech as this. And it was like kind of bold to say at the time. And Eno wrote it like right away and posted it. And I was like, wow. And I saw it, Kelly Brogan posted it. And then I went to his page. I think that's how I found him. And I saw he was vegan. And that's when I reached out to him. I'm like, dude, how does nobody talk about what's happening right now? And his one thing was, all the vegan are sheep. That's what he said. Because I said, why is nobody in the vegan movement? Because at the time I was only following like vegans, And I'm like, why is nobody talking right now? This is weird. Like... animal activists. What about human rights activists? Where are we at?
Right. And that's why it was so interesting. And I know we've talked about this at length, but it's like, why are the vegans who are awake to big pharma, awake to big agriculture, awake to what's going on, not awake to this side of big pharma? Like, how did they not connect the dots when they were connected on all of these other broken, corrupt systems?
The What the Health documentary.
Right.
It's like, it shows you how the meat and dairy industry and the cancer and how they're slapping these ribbons on these products that, and you question that stuff, the doctor's in there, and it's like, and you're not questioning this?
In conspiracy.
Like, you went down the rabbit hole. It's like, I think it's getting too deep. Let me get back out. And then it's crazy. I don't get it.
Some are just living in fear still, or they really think maybe they think, like, a lot of them have told me, like, it comes from animals. So if we were all
oh god, I even said something when I saw Plant-Based News posted that on Instagram. I think I unfollowed them. I'm like, anything that, I mean, I get it with the vegans, like, because I'm vegan, duh,
right?
And I actually went vegan for animals. That was like initially why I went, but it's like they take it something like that and run with it, which is cool, but that's not even where it came from. It was man-made. So it's like...
it's been planned.
Like, look into this more than just, it came from an animal, stop eating animals. Like, no, you bastards. Like, look at what's going on, right?
Right. And I'd love to have that on, love to have that philosophy to support, like, hey, this is where it came from, so stop eating. We have a really good justification to help the animal movement, but it's just not the truth.
No,
I can't support
and
that.
That's why I got upset, because it's like, okay, you just take that and run with it without really looking into or questioning things. And now we're going to take a vaccine, though, and be okay with that. It's like, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
And what's really in those vaccines?
Well, that's the thing is, I could tell you what's in them is not necessarily making people feel good. Like, I don't know if I shared the story with you.
Kangen? Cool.
You taste it?
No, I didn't taste it yet. Sorry.
We're drinking Kangen water, Kangen tea.
Oh, my. Smooth. Oh, sorry.
It is smooth. Okay.
I'm glad you like it.
So we know from the database, I'll try to keep it at minimum for your editing, so you don't have to edit everything out with the bad words here. But the main database...
I have to edit out the bad words.
Well, it depends on where you're posting it.
It's a juicy
podcast.
Yeah,
I do have to.
Really?
Well, for YouTube, I think.
Yeah, for
I don't know
YouTube.
about Spotify and Apple and Google, and if I put on...
No, you're probably clear on everything we've said. We've only said the V word a couple times, and we haven't...
Right.
And just...
What about bastards?
I think bastards is good.
Okay.
I think that's a misdemeanor.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
Think while it's legal.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I was just going back to the injuries. I think one thing that is a silver lining to this horrible situation is that with over 1 million people reporting in, right? Reporting in side effects, and over 20,000 haven't reported died. Those numbers are significant, and most people have no idea those numbers exist, but it's in the VAERS database at hhs.gov, and they can find out for themselves. But the idea is that how underreported they are. A lot of factors saying it's 5 times to 41 times underreported because these reports are not being sent in, or if 2 or 3 weeks later they have an adverse event, they're not making the correlation that it was because of the shot.
It's not accurate.
Well, I saw, I didn't read it, so I'm not going to vouch for it too much, but there was something that said, an article somebody shared that said something like there might be an estimated over 250,000 deaths because there was that many more deaths last year that were, I didn't read it, but I saw something like that. And it doesn't surprise me, with all these, when you look at open VAERS with over 1 million, the people that are being affected, it's insane. And all the people dropping like flies on soccer fields overseas. And
you can't really hide that. It's not normal for soccer players to fall off. And it's interesting in soccer. I think it's just because that's a global sport that there's a lot of people playing. But we're seeing in all sports.
But it's also they're overexerting. That's a sport where your heart rate is up. There's no timeout, foul. It's like you're running and running and running. So
I guess your heart can't handle it under those conditions after taking the shot.
When you
Apparently,
take the clot shot.
Yeah. Exactly. It is clotting.
It's messed up.
The clot shot. Wow.
Yeah. Microclots.
The jab. Don't take the jab.
So
don't be a jabroni.
So that's it. That's might just be what it takes to wake people up, because people are now in a place where everybody seems to know 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 people who've gotten some sort of side effect. People are getting scared. They don't want to keep taking it.
That's what's going to happen, I think, because it's not coming from mainstream news. Like when we say this stuff, when I'll say that in a comment, when I'll spend 2 minutes saying exactly all that stuff from theirs, they're like, that's not true. That's false. It's like, yeah, because you're not seeing on CNN them talking about it, and you won't. It's never going to be mainstream. But once people around you start dropping and developing all these things, hopefully we'll start questioning,
And then we could burst the big pharma bubble, and that's what needs to happen, is people to realize this whole thing has been funded and orchestrated by big pharma and the media companies that they own, and then they say, wow, safe isn't so safe, effective isn't so effective, and rare is quite common, and when you look at that, people start to realize, I think we've been lied to again. That's the hope. And then humanity comes together. It's not even hope. It's what's happened. There's 50,000 truckers trucking. That's going to wake people up. And speaking of the media, they lied to the media said, truckers all protesting in a big caravan because of road conditions. They call it road conditions.
Wow.
That's why they're protesting, not because of the mandates, but because of road conditions.
Wow.
Of course not. They probably said 12 semi-trucks.
Right, totally.
Wow.
They won't broadcast the truth because the TV is owned by 6 corporations, and it's all propaganda. At
everything is. To me, everything, not just the media, everything on TV. It's all subconscious programming. It's all bullshit. There's nothing good from it. It's just going to literally rot your brain, all of it. Use it every once in a while as a distraction if you want to watch a show or something and you just feel like escaping for a little bit. But besides that, it's all bullshit.
Well, think about this. Somebody very close to me says, it can't all be a conspiracy. Not everything. It just can't all be that way.
Everything's a lie.
But that's the thing, is when all the media is owned by the same companies and it's the same private public partnerships, the agencies are in on it, and you realize it is all orchestrated. It is. And that's how they pull it off.
It's funny. He's like,
we got our vegan dog Lucas on here.
You want some tea? I'm gonna save that for myself.
He's also in on it, on what we're saying. He likes what you're saying, definitely.
If you're just listening, there's a Shih Tzu that came to join us.
Yeah, a vegan dog.
And if you're he's a
in
vegan
a cute
Shih Tzu.
Christmas sweater. Oh.
Thank you. I love you too.
Baby Lucas. He's right next to the microphone.
He wants Ben's
okay.
lips. He wants those lips.
You want them? All right, maybe later. Let's see how things go tonight.
The bristles feel good on his tongue from your shadow.
We got sidetracked. The dog. It's be so cute.
It's the only time it's allowed to be sidetracked is when there's a dog around.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Aww. We're all vegan and fighting for freedom, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But think about that. I mean, honestly, think about that with staying on this subject with vegan. Like, imagine if everybody in the vegan movement got it and how hard they protest for animals. We were on the streets for ourselves, and that would be insane.
Yeah.
Right, we're animals ourselves. We should, like, of course. And how are we going to speak up for the animals if we can't speak up?
If we can't speak up for ourselves, which is happening now.
Well, once in a while, even though if there's 100 comments on a post, there's 97 of them are going to be positive. But then I'm going to have 3, and they usually say something like, "Why don't you focus on something more important, like racism or something like that?" And I'm not saying those aren't, the racism or coming back and talking more about the animals like I used to do, and I think you guys just answered. That's why.
Racism is a huge issue. We know this, but, the media, the powers that be have strategically done a masterful job at creating these divides with all these movements to keep us on a surface level and not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on. That's the most frustrating thing. With everything, it's like when somebody says that, it's like, wait a second, like, we are all about to be enslaved if you don't really wake up to what's happening. So
what's that quote? If you think the virus is scary, wait till you
see what's really going on.
I have the poster right here.
Oh yeah, that's right. We made the poster.
Right
you
there.
made the poster.
Right. I painted the poster.
Yes,
right
I just.
What he just said is on here.
Look at that.
Defeat the mandates.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We need that in our lives.
Watch where you put that down.
I know, right? And then taking things away from people until they say yes is not a choice.
Yeah, that's another one. All right, I'm getting us on film here.
Okay,
if I do this right. All right, we're hanging out, having an awesome podcast.
It's not recording.
Oh. There we go.
What's in that tea?
Exactly.
We're having a podcast, the Just Juicy podcast.
Just Juicy.
And I'm with Jonny Juicer and Plant-Based Ben.
Love it.
We're talking about... Okay, yeah, okay, wait. What were we talking about?
Well, this has been great. I mean, it's just flown so perfectly, and we just keep feeding off each other without even getting into anything specifically. It's just, like you said, going into it, there's so much to break down. I mean, we could literally be here till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Talking about this stuff.
The 24-hour podcast. We take turns sleeping.
Yeah. What we're awakening.
Yes.
That's good. It's catchy.
Yes.
So,
and all the people you guys influence. So many. Incredible.
Oh.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
You know what's inspiring is reshares. And I didn't know about those. I was telling you about those in San Diego, but there's a button that shows you who's resharing your stuff. And since I post like memes, like if I post a picture of myself, no one's going to reshare that. But if I post, like maybe my mom would.
I'll repost it, Ben. I think I reposted pictures of you semi-naked.
Thank you. You weren't supposed to share those with anyone. and but the idea is like when there's stuff and it's like, you don't know who you can reshare something, and then somebody else will see it on their story and they'll reshare it. So I think it's so important to recognize that no matter if you have 100 people or 100,000 people, it's like you don't know, we're moving the needle closer, and it's like we have to create that tipping point, and every little bit helps. And you don't know what post you're going to post that might go viral, might hit the Explorer page and reach 20, 50, 100,000 people, and I think one thing I'm really passionate about, and I do look at that every day, say how many people can I reach? I kind of measure it. I want to find out how many people can I effect. And I go to bed going, damn, that was awesome. That reached 70,000 people on that. That's wild. And just the amount of people that will reshare it. I'm like, they're getting it out there to their friends, and they're getting it out there to their friends. And I think for me, that's what we need to do. We got to generate that awareness. And I think,
especially coming from you, man, like you do it so well, you deliver it so well. And then when you go to your page and you see his face, you're like, oh my God, like you just look at you and you just look like you know what you're talking about. You know, you're just one of those guys.
It's Photoshop.
You're put together real well, you know? So yeah, no, your stuff is amazing, Ben. I tell you all the time, like how it's evolved since like you first started speaking up. I mean, you inspire me, man, just watching you speak and doing all these events, and I mean, staying on it daily and be so, you're passionate about it. You know, you're passionate about what's happening right now. And it's so important. We need people like that. You're definitely one of the biggest in the movement to me right now on when I'm on social media and seeing who's consistent and putting out good stuff. I would say to me, the most powerful person right now is probably Jimmy Levy.
Wow. Yeah.
The reason I say that is, did you see Sweden singing his song?
When the one where he jumped on the phone, he jumped on the live with them and said, the guys were singing my song.
He posted it on his page. Sweden, the whole crowd was singing. They were all protesting. It was ridiculous. Welcome to the revolution. These girls were singing it on a microphone in Sweden. I mean, it's like he's reaching people worldwide through his music. And I saw the God Over Government one just dropped. And I mean, it's powerful. It's powerful stuff, man. I mean, if there's one way, that's why it's like, where have all of our musicians been? Why aren't you? I mean, you can literally, like John Lennon back in the day. Yeah. He's our modern day, you know, he's killing it.
You should have seen him at the event. That was cool.
Yeah, it was like front row VIP.
yeah. And Jimmy is the sweetest guy like ever. He's like when
you got to hang out with him, right?
Yeah, we got to hang out and a few times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we was fortunate to become friends with him a little bit now, and yeah, we've talked a few times and stuff. But he's like the most sincere. I was on the video chat with him, and I just said, dude. We're talking about something. I'm like, dude, you don't ever have to pay me back. It's like, you are one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, he has no ego. He has no, and he won't say a bad thing about anybody. He's just a sweet man. And I just look at him. It's like you want to give him a big bear hug, you know? It's just, he's so sweet. And he's constantly just thinking about how to affect a movement. Like last night, he got on his live. And he just says, hey, anyone from Canada want to come on and tell me what's going on? And just has a lovely conversation, giving the platform to whoever wants to come on. Got his page threatened last night, too, by the way. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets taken away. I mean, for now. But he'll build it right back up. I mean, his influence is, I mean, to me, if there was somebody, if I was in charge of what's going on right now in the world and having this agenda unfold, and I'm looking out there at who's a threat to what we're doing, it's the guy making the music going worldwide right now, because it's pumping you up, it's waking you up.
That's true.
And it's like the soundtrack of the movement. You know,
it really is. The guy Matt Brevner is great and I love him, but Jimmy is like consistent. He's pumping out new stuff. He's even working on a new song now, past God Over Government, which I can't wait to hear. But God Over Government, I don't know if you've heard the whole thing.
Yeah, in Washington, D.C.
Wait, but you hear High Res rapping this thing? It's insane.
Is it?
Whoa. Oh my God. It's like high speed, high intensity rap. It's like, how does he control that? Yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest of their hits. So
wow.
Far. Yeah.
I'm excited.
So excited to see.
Welcome to the Revolution's great too. But this is a war. When that came out, something in me was like, holy crap, this is powerful. Like the video was so powerful, the song. I immediately wanted to share it. I'm like, this is it. It's happening. We needed something like that. I feel like the freedom movement, like somebody like Jimmy.
I think it would,
because it's really given us a lot of momentum. I feel.
Totally agree.
Speaking the truth in an artistic way, in a way that people will understand.
Music
more, yeah.
I mean, you drive it to the radio. I mean, I remember when I worked at FedEx, keep the radio on, and you know the radio plays the same thing all the time, and I'd catch myself sometimes singing these songs. I don't even know the artist, but I know the lyrics because it's always on all day. So when you're listening to this stuff, I mean, it's powerful.
I don't know about you, but like the melodies are constantly in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
You know?
Same.
It's like high vibrations too.
Good to work out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. That's my playlist when I go to the gym, are his 5 songs. Yeah, it's like I just play it, work out, you know, but
What's the 5 songs?
Do you like Red Horns? Have you heard that,
I
Ben,
haven't
or
heard
seen
that
that
one.
the
No.
video? The music video is pretty trippy with Rick
what's
Ross.
it about? The song.
It's like they're all in the beginning of the video. They're like on a Ouija board, and then Jimmy like starts like a demon like possesses him, and he's walking in this dark world. And then it's pretty epic. The lyrics are pretty good. And then Rick Ross comes in, and he's like, "Jimmy Levy." It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That sounds great. I'll definitely have to watch it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's a pretty good music
Was it
video.
about like going through hell and then getting to like heaven?
Something like that. Yeah, I'd have to break down the lyrics a little more, but it's I only listened to it a couple times because I watched the music video and I was like, "Dang, this is dope."
Shout out Jimmy Levy and High Res.
He's the man. They're the men. They're awesome.
And so are you guys.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I mean, it's interesting because it just, you know, it's like, I think courage is what's going to change the world.
Yeah.
You know,
And the more people that are speaking, the more courage you're going to have.
the easier it is, right?
In the beginning, nobody was speaking, so it was a little, but now it's like everybody's speaking, and then you got, you know, somebody like Jimmy doing it on that level, and it's very easy to jump on no matter what level of, because, you know, you got your Trumpers, which I never like to identify this whole movement with, but hey, if you want to be a part of it, great, because we're all for freedom.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like you have every level of, hey, I'm just tired of this, you know, at some point, hey, I'm tired of taking the booster, I'm not taking this next booster. It's like every day more people are waking up and just saying, you know what, something isn't right. This is starting not to make sense. And if you're still going along with it, I'm gonna keep praying for you.
Courage is contagious, though. If we all come together and we unite, there's more of us than there are of these, or what do you call them? Dark forces.
Well, that's it.
Trying to work on the New World Order.
Well, and
Can
that's
we
the thing.
say that?
Yeah, we can say that. You know, it's like, but it's
They're built back better.
yeah, they're build back better. And that's the thing is, that's what's really tricky, because you're thinking, oh, the Green New Deal and to build back better. It's like those sound like great programs of inclusion, of environmental security, of climate change issues. Like, who doesn't want like a healthier, cleaner world? We all want that. But the idea is that's the Trojan horse is being brought in. On the inside of it is a surveillance state, is basically a transition to put us into a form of slavery. And it sounds like, oh, that sounds like a crazy stretch, but if you connect the dots, you recognize that they've laid out their program, and you know they've rolled this out. They want to have a social credit score. They want to have the digital currency, and if we follow this path, it's going to look just like what sections of China are looking at today.
Yeah.
They want to do that all around the world. but
They do. It's
And there are some people I think that'll be okay with it.
yeah,
Some people
for
don't
sure.
care.
I actually have a friend here that I grew up with who's like really kind of awake to what's going on. I'm not going to drop his name, but he's like okay with the Elon Musk Neuralink thing. Like, he's like, you wouldn't do that? Like, what if you could just stick something in your brain and just like you're a search engine? I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't want nothing injected into
I'm
my
all right.
God-given body.
Thanks, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's what we're talking about. Transhumanism is, you know, that's what the funny thing is, like, to say New World Order a year ago, I wouldn't have said it on the live. I wouldn't have said it out loud. But now I'll say it because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
And the people say, ha, you're crazy. Just go look at the documents, go to the Telegram group, go watch these particular documentaries, and you can connect the dots, and you see that it's there.
Thrive. Go watch Thrive.
Go watch Thrive.
YouTube.
Zeitgeist.
Go watch Zeitgeist and Thrive. Thrive will trip you out, though. The last 40 minutes is literally what's unfolding right now, and it's from like 12 years ago.
It's
pretty
talking about
trippy.
it in the last.
Oh my God.
They
How
talk about
it?
the vaxxes.
To a T. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything to a T of what's going on right now. How they're going to do the digital currency. How they're
Yep.
going to mass vaccinate everybody.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's kind of cool because the last like 20 minutes of it, they talk about solutions and kind of creating the new world and stuff. But it gets pretty creepy because they're like, they're going to start taking away your rights. They're going to start taking away freedom of speech. And they want global domination. That's the end goal. And they show all these different sources. They name all the names of the people controlling everything. It's a pretty epic documentary. And it's free on YouTube.
Yeah. So we've got Zeitgeist. We got Thrive, which you were talking about. ThriveMovement.com, I believe, as well. You can watch it there. Plandemic's a great one. Plandemicseries.com. You can go there. And then if you were to watch those three, you would have a really clear idea and extraordinarily sobering experience.
Yeah, documentaries are really good at, persuading you one way, but these are films that no matter what way you see it, if you watch them, all of those that we just named, it's like there's no way you're going to walk away from that and say, nah, that's just conspiracy stuff. Because, I mean, like Thrive, it's, an 11-year-old film, 12-year-old film. It's like they were talking about this stuff exactly. I mean, they were talking about this on Event 201 with the simulation. I mean, all the stuff that they've been talking about, it's going to happen. You've heard on record Bill Gates saying there's going to be, a lot of people knew, too, in the truth community. I didn't know to this extent. I didn't think it was going to happen in the next 20 years. But when it started happening, it's like it was almost immediate, And
they're pushing it fast, right? I mean, literally, you can't leave your country in Canada, Australia, Austria, where are the other places? I can't go have lunch in Chicago. I can't go there. I'm segregated in going into Chicago. And people say, well,
segregation is not the way. At all.
Well, it's not the way, especially when if the shot doesn't keep you from giving it to others, how is the passport going to work?
Yeah.
That's just the if you follow that line
for them.
It's working perfect.
Perfect.
That's the system. The passport is the Vax passport is the step to the social credit score, and it's just the new system. I mean, whenever the government's going to deem that we need to get a shot.
It's crazy. I mean, I think people will just think, if you break it down how you just did to somebody, they'd probably be like, well, it's going to keep us safer. More control, more surveillance. It's going to keep us safer. People love safety and security.
They're willing to give up their freedom for it.
They're willing to give up anything for it. As long as they got their Oculus glasses and Netflix, Grubhub, Instacart, they still feel free. But you can't leave your home.
It's like your home's
or go anywhere without your papers.
Well, think about that. The social media dilemma or paradox is the idea where we have so much connection through social media, but yet it's considered to be the most depressed generation, is the youngest generation. Most people saying they don't have a best friend they could call. Like 1 out of 4 people were saying that. Like 60% of kids were saying they've been depressed, feeling lonely, more than ever before. So we've got all the social media, but we've got so much loneliness. So it's not giving that fulfillment that human contact.
It's a digital dimension. It's like false hope. It's a false reality.
Yeah.
Because all these people, all of them online, all have problems. They make social media out to be a perfect world. I could say, just being in it the last 8 years, the events I've been a part of, the vegan friendships I've had, 99%, I'd say maybe 95% of the people are full of shit, and I'll be honest.
What do you mean full of shit?
Well, they portray an image online that they're really not in integrity with in their physical life behind the camera. Yeah, and that's getting to know people that I've met and, built relationships with. And then I kind of go my way because I'm like, whoa, this isn't in alignment with what you put out there, So, and that's why people struggle, is because they see all these people that are perfect and saying all the right things. And it's like, no, actually, that guy's got issues like the next person, They're
still human, too.
Human. Exactly. Still human, and it's almost like people believe that they're just perfect. Everybody believes they're perfect. There's a lot of people that follow. I know somebody actually in LA, a lady that I met at the grocery store, and she thinks like she wants to be like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to be, it's like, no, you got to be like yourself. Like, what do you love? Who are you? Stop looking at these people and thinking they have it all together, because it's not the case. I would say over 90% of the time. Trust me, there are a lot of people who are in integrity and inspire the hell out of me, but a lot of it is fluff. A lot of it is, Yeah.
David Goggins always says, stop looking up to people like that. They're just hiding their shit better than we do.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's why I always try to be transparent and vulnerable with whatever I'm going through in life, and just try to be real, no matter what.
Keep it raw and real.
Keep it raw and real. Yeah, it's to me, that's the way to be. So
That's a sweet life.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not. If you're not, authenticity is gold. People want to see you being authentic, and that's why I think people resonate with you so much, Jonny. It's like you're always authentic. If you're hurting because of what you went through with your mom, you'll talk about it. Know, and to have that vulnerability is gets people to connect to you, because it's not just always a smile and a perfect picture. And that's powerful.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's even like with diet. That's another thing, like there's been vegans who have been caught eating fish on camera, there's been, and we put out this image, and, people are making money building platforms on it. And then they're getting caught eating something else, or they come out saying they're eating something else. And so I don't know. It's crazy. If you're struggling with health, it's like, don't sell that your health is perfect. And then when you get caught with something, say, well, my health, you know what I mean? It's just, come on. How do you trust that person again? It's somebody that, especially if you have 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, and people all over the world are looking up to you and following what you do to a T, and you're not healthy, yet you're telling everybody you are, but then you got caught on camera eating fish. What is that? No names in particular, but it happens a lot. Well, it happens a lot in the vegan community, and I've known all these people. I was friends with all these people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
you got to find who your real friends are. It really shows.
I wasn't like close like that, but acquaintance, like text, stuff like that. And then it's like, then that comes out.
But it's also vilifying the vegans who have, and we both have a friend in common.
Even if they're not looking, what we're saying is definitely so powerful.
Yeah.
For people to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, I just think, it's one thing to be caught hiding it, but if it's kind of good that some people have come out. I was saying like John Venus,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like John came out and said, hey guys, I am eating some stuff, and I know personally he's hardly having any meat. I think he just has eggs from like the chickens in his house or something like that, and that's about it. But to demonize them and just the hate mail and stuff like that, I just,
that's not right.
I agree.
That's right.
I agree. I totally agree. There's people who have gotten caught, and then there's people who, like him, has come out and said, this isn't working for me. And you have to respect that.
Yeah.
It's honesty.
Yeah. It's, I'm not going to have, because of someone's choice, I'm not going to stop being friends with them if, you like them more deeply at a deeper level. And there's more, there's so much more to it. So I don't know. I think that's another aspect that, I don't know. Even those who have blazed the trail for people, and I get it. They're like letting a lot of people down, but they're still human.
You're still human, but like I said, he's being honest. He's being authentic. He's being real. He's telling you, hey, this wasn't working for me. And sure, there's going to be people bashing him. No, you're just not doing it right, or and it's like, you don't know his situation or his body. He's being real with his people instead of lying and doing it on the side and continually selling you this lie. You know what I mean? So you have to respect that. I don't see any other way to do it.
I agree. And speaking of him, it's great that he came out and is one of the people speaking for freedom, and he's doing it all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I have so much respect for everybody that's using their platform and voice and risking friendships, family, jobs, platforms, money, everything. When you're risking everything, you see where that person's heart is. You can see where that person's, and you have to, I love people like that right now. I don't care what you eat. I don't care what your diet is. If you're speaking up for the greater of humanity and trying to shift this crazy timeline that they're creating, I have nothing but love and respect for you.
Same.
Yes. You said it right.
Thank you. That was cool. Can't remember the last time people clapped for me.
Well, people will be clapping for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You could hear them on
both
on
are
the
doing
lives.
with the lives and the pose stories.
Yeah.
Getting censored is like, ugh, even though you keep pushing. And like you just made a new page, the Truth O'Clock, right?
Yeah.
The Truther page. I like that.
It's more or less, because it's more or less when I see something good that I think will, like, for example, that video today, I wanted to share that. Like, seeing all the kids' reaction after saying they don't have to wear a mask no more.
Yeah.
How much joy did that bring you watching that video, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, and people need to see that. I think a lot of parents don't understand what they're putting their kids in by masking them and throwing them in these schools, It's like...
Yeah.
Way to live for a kid.
Yeah. I asked my niece yesterday, I'm like, do you have to wear that thing all day? And she's like, no, we get to take it off at recess if we go outside. But since we didn't, I had to wear it. And we get to take it off only for lunch and for snack time.
Well, you know what?
Like, man, somebody needs to slap the hell out of that teacher and principal. And
guess
take
what?
them to Earth School.
Like, all the parents are on board with that? Like,
here's the deal. I figured it out. I watched it on Dell. And a really cool story. So I'm sitting there. I'm flying back from DC, and on my way back, there's hardly anyone at all in the airport. And I'm going through the security check, just like literally where I'm just like taking my computer out and everything else. I run into Dave and Elizabeth, who are the founders of the Illinois Children's Health Defense.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And I was planning on going in to their house this week and sitting down talking about Tulum and talking about stuff and just catching up, talking about Children's Health Defense projects. And I saw him there. I'm like, when's your flight? I'm like, we got a full hour. So we sat there and had a coffee for 45 minutes, and it was amazing. We're like, what are the odds? And they just had to shift their location at the last second, so it's like it was meant to be. And they talk about this lady named AJ DePriest. And AJ DePriest went down and said, okay, I need to connect the dots financially. How much money are these schools and these hospitals making? And she found out, she's based in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm gonna have her hopefully on the podcast. And she said, the school district for Memphis, Tennessee got something like over $500 million. I think she said $750 million. That's what the school district's getting. But here's the deal. They only get the money if they comply and show that they're basically close to 100% compliance. And in that checklist of things, a mask, social distancing, everything else, is a checklist of vaccines. That's what's coming on that list. And if they don't adhere to it, they don't get the funding. They aren't getting... And just to put that into some perspective, I don't know how many times over that is of their per budget, but it's extraordinary. So if they don't follow it, they have this gigantic package that they're not going to get. Hospitals, $166,000 per patient. 166, and that's not even that's not like all, and plus those bells and whistles. Other states were showing like over $300,000 per COVID patient. So these hospitals are making so much money. These schools are making so much money, and these businesses also. So they are being paid to be silent. They're being paid to say we have to just shut our mouth and follow through on this. And there's no way we could give up something that's significant. You think somebody morally could just say I'm willing to lose my job? Come on. Come on.
Sold their soul.
They sold it. This people are selling their souls
for the kids.
Yeah. So that's why there's that's why there's compliance, and that's why the school boards aren't listening. That's why they're not listening.
Makes sense.
I'm glad they're not listening to.
Yeah, well, they need to listen to the people, and that's why we need to get in their face. And AJ Dupree says, get in their face and tell them, we know how much money you've gotten, and this is, why you're complying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go to my niece's school tomorrow, because there's a lady out there that doesn't even want you to stand outside to get your kid.
Oh,
Why?
Jesus.
No idea.
Why?
That's what my
she's
dad
crazy.
said. If she didn't say nothing to me yesterday, I would have probably went off on her. It's terrible.
What are you going to tell her when you see her?
What am I going to tell her tomorrow if I go?
What would you tell? What would you want others to say too? If they had to go.
Depends on if she says something to me. I mean, she's just a lady that comes out and makes sure the kids are getting to their destination. I don't think she was really, she definitely doesn't know how much they're getting paid off. She's just complying, but it's hard because it's like, even when we went in those stores, Ben, it's like these people are they're just paid robots, They have no idea what the hell's going on. So it's like, how can you yell at them? You don't
want to yell at them.
Like, how about that kid that didn't want to give me the lemonade at that place? It's like an 18-year-old kid. He's like, you're not wearing a mask, I can't serve you. So then I went to Target and bought a dinosaur mask, and he served me. That's the level of stupidity, it's insane.
And he served him without hesitation. He's like,
Without
sir,
hesitation.
I can't serve you. He
I
puts
put
the
it
mask on.
Okay, he's pumping it already. He's giving me a refill.
Literally, there was not a second delay from
Nothing.
putting the lizard mask, dinosaur mask on. And so we said, let's go test that at other places. We walk into some other shop. It was like a Banana Republic or something.
Banana Republic.
Is
Forever
that what it
21.
was? Forever 21.
Forever 21.
And so basically there is a security guard lady decked out like in a police like security outfit, right? I'm like, oh, this is going to be serious. And she goes, sir, you're going to need to put your mask on. And I'm sitting there filming it. And he goes, oh, I've got my own, thank you. And he puts a lizard mask on. She laughs and lets him continue to walk.
Yeah.
She's like, laugh, but she didn't care. She didn't stop him.
Yeah.
And then
Because they're just told to make sure people have masks. She's not checking for proper ventilation or,
I mean, come on. If it was really about safety, you think you would at least have some standard.
Yeah. This is what we're up against.
Yeah.
We're making progress, so we're good.
But we can't wake everybody up. I do believe that we have to shift and I don't mean this in a derogatory term, but it's just the analogy, the shift the herd in a different direction. That's like humanity doesn't all think for themselves. And I don't think we've evolved to the point where we will in time.
And like I said, there's going to be these people, I feel like there's going to be these people who are going to be part of the system and okay with it. And then there's going to be the part of the people that, like Jeff said, who are going to be the solution-based people that are creating the new world in every aspect. Yes, without needing approval from the government or I have to get on this flight. We're going to start knowing airline pilots,
Yeah. But I'm also hoping that enough people shift, that tipping point will come and people will say, well, yeah, I think I agree with this side now, and even though they don't understand why they do, the energy shift will happen where it does become the dominant narrative and the revolution does take place. We're gonna I'm not sure exactly how that's going to transform, but
I know it's going to be interesting because it's like you said, once you awake to what's happening and seeing how corrupt and dark this is, there's no going back. Yeah. So it's like if we get enough people, right, that are like kind of like what's going on with the truckers in Canada, and if this just keeps snowballing everywhere, how are they going to keep up with their agenda? That's a good question. It's like, or is something that they're going to put out and create more deadly? So put us in fear and try to put us in our place to comply with their social credit system and vaccines and all that stuff,
Seems like they would do anything.
I would still take my chances and do what I feel is right.
Follow your heart.
Freedom and body autonomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too. It's like, even if you're the person who captures you, is going to bring you down to a dungeon. And that's kind of what's happening. We're being brought into a dungeon. Right? But on the way there, if you try to break free, you might run, you might get scraped, you might break a bone, bad things could happen, you might get lost. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you don't try, you're heading towards the dungeon. And not to make such a dark metaphor, but you got to understand that where we're being driven now is into a surveillance state. It's into a very dangerous place. So we have to take that leap and just take the chance and try to break free at any cost, is the way I look at it.
And if we don't, we're off to Tulum.
We're off to Tulum.
No.
Hey, little
or
guy.
building an off-grid community wherever you are.
Yeah.
You could do it anywhere.
Yeah, we really could. You know, it's like, I was thinking about that. After Jeff said that, I mean, you can go, not that I would ever, but there's places in Illinois where there's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of field, open land. There's Indiana. There's you can literally go anywhere and create something off-grid if
You
you,
have a community of conscious
yeah.
beings.
But
too, or-
can we still get to the grocery stores or onto airplanes? You know,
That's-
this is the thing. It's like,
Oh my God.
we can live in our bubble, but I want humanity to live free. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to be fine. We've got resources, we've got connections, we've got flexibility. You know, we don't have kids. I mean, we're going to be okay. But what about 95% of the other people? It's like, I don't want them living that either. And plus, if it's the majority, we're going to have limits to our rights.
Yeah. It's so crazy how people think, you know, it's so selfish doing what we're doing. Yet it's one of the most unselfish thing you can think of is speaking up for people and what's happening right now. It's insane, especially for the kids,
future generations. yeah.
future generations. Exactly.
It's no way to live like this. We gotta rise up against everything that's going on.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in every nail they get in the coffin, it's going to be that much harder to reverse it.
Ooh.
You know, it's once they end up, everything that gets more normalized and becomes a new normal, the more people are just going to accept that this is how things are. It's like people come from China and they're wearing masks all the time, and you're like, why are they doing that? And now I look back and say it's because they've been conditioned to realize that this is like protecting them and a safe way to go about it. And it's, yeah, so that's it. The sooner we reverse course, the easier it's going to be to reverse things.
I think we're around the corner though.
Yeah, we're definitely. Mm-hmm. All around the world, people are like wanting to mandate freedom.
I think, I don't know when it was. I have it on a highlight, but like 2020, like maybe it was May. I did a screenshot, and it says, "Who's ready for the Great Awakening?" And it was like a yes or no, a poll. And it was like one of my most like watched stories. And then people were like, "What does that mean? What does that even mean?" And it's like, you're seeing it, you know. People are waking up to some level, whether it's truth, whether it's health. I think it kind of obviously goes hand in hand. I mean, you get healthy, you wake up, you know, the reality within yourself, you wake up to everything, right? So
that's it. Yeah, it's awakening. It's on a huge scale, and we've had a decade of learning about stuff to wake us up. You know, the documentaries and the questioning and our health challenges and things like that, right? And so you start to wake up. A lot of times this might be the first piece of content that people are looking at, but they're being baptized by fire.
that's what Eno said. Eno's like, he goes, what did he tell me? He's like, I can't imagine how traumatizing it is for somebody to wake up right now to what's going on and seeing that literally everything is a lie. Everything, from the tap water to the chemtrails to the food to the TV to the news, everything is a lie, literally.
Yeah.
And they're literally killing us or trying to in every asset around. You know what I mean? It's insane. I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like that, but
It definitely is insane.
Little by little, everything they're doing, when you look, it's there's not the best intentions behind it.
And you wonder why.
To dummy us down, to control us, to keep us asleep like we are right now.
Depopulation. Too. Like Bill Gates always says.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Depopulate and just have a herd of people who just are controlled and will do whatever they're told. That's it. That have no identity. They're just literally consumers for the system.
Yeah, and even if you don't believe and say, oh, well, I don't believe that's part of the agenda, for depopulation. Well, one thing you can definitely notice is that they are the reproduction of has gone down so significantly. The reproduction rates, not only the last 2 years.
No, this is years.
Yeah, it's
all the women developing endometriosis, and I mean this is
blood clotting.
Look at the Georgia Guidestones. What is it? Maintain humanity under how much?
500,000 million or 500 million? 500,000.
It's something. It's a massive reduction of the population. But that
why is that there?
That's right. It could be right. That's a theory, right? We're speculating on that. A lot of the other stuff we talked about, it's not speculation. You can go find the data on that. Yeah. But when it comes to this, I think the more data we get in about the blood clotting, about the spike proteins and how that's affecting reproduction. I mean, all this data is going to come in, and you start to say, was that coincidence that it was just a side effect?
Oh. Yeah. It's too bad Eno's not on this podcast because he would go all into the transhumanism, how they're messing with the hormones, with the water, and they're trying to destroy the family unit. And I mean, when you piece everything together, you're like, wow, this is evil.
An evil, elaborate plan that's coming to light. And
people don't even realize it.
I hope they'll open their minds.
They just continue to support some of these movements and yell at people who are trying to talk about keeping free.
They're living in a low, fear vibration, and we just got to give them love. That's what they need. That's what everybody needs. Just show them the higher vibes. Be that example.
I think that's critical because it is about joining a team. In essence, they're safely secure on their team right now. That team of the social connection that they have. Like, we're doing good for humanity, and we're locking down, and we did our sacrifices, and we're going to continue because I care about people.
Yeah, and it's a very grandma.
Yeah, and that's a very noble thing. I encourage. Of course, good for you. Way to go. But if they think the other side of the team is just these Trumpers that they're, I'm not dissing Trump, but from their perspective, they think it's this crazy Trump
selfish
freedom.
Trumpers.
Yeah. So that's
anti-vaxxers.
They're like, well, I don't want to be on that team. Well, and I can't blame them if that's the way they see them, but this is a human movement. These are people from all walks of life that are waking up right now, and there happens to be Trump people on that team.
Yeah.
But it's not a Trump team, and that's what people got to realize. If you come over to the side of truth, it's not a Trump movement. It's a humanity movement.
I could see that, and so it is love and compassion to get them over.
Yeah.
But once you're over, we're gonna smack the hell out of you for taking so long to wake up.
And you better be speaking up sooner than later. We need your help.
I'll give you a hug.
Yes. No, it's all love. It's all love. All forgiveness. No judgment.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are starting to realize, and even though it's maybe everybody wakes up at a different time. But if we can even get through to one person listening to this.
That's it. Keep planting seeds.
Yeah.
Keep planting seeds. He could post the same thing every day. Some people unfollow you. You never know. Maybe 26 days from now, somebody's going to be like, you know what? I get it now. It took that post today that you made, I mean, there's still people following me that sometimes when I look at the messages, I scroll all the way up, and they've been following me since like 2014. And I'm like, wow, this person's been on this whole journey with me and stuck with me and woke up, and
wow,
it's like, this is amazing. Like,
it's incredible.
So it does make a difference. I had a nurse that unfollowed me last year. I screenshotted this and I posted it on my story. Unfollowed me, thought I was crazy. And not this year. She unfollowed me in 2020 when I started talking about this stuff. And then she started seeing what was happening in the hospitals. And she started seeing all the things about the mandates. And she came around and said, wow, I didn't see it in the beginning. I unfollowed you, didn't follow you for a year. See, you're still speaking about it. I started following you again. You were right. And it's like, wow, this is amazing, And I just said so much love and respect for, thank you. I appreciate it. It's like, it's not like I was trying to force views on anybody. We're not trying to force it, but hey, there's another side. You tell me what makes sense, especially now, Because most people, like I've said, would you agree, Ben? Most people in this movement are like some of the best hearts you know. Would you agree?
100%.
Everybody, I mean, man, that weekend in San Diego, it was like one of the best weekends ever. Like everybody from Jimmy to Alec to Jason. Yeah, I mean, everybody has like the best heart. Yeah. You can see they truly, truly care about people. And it's like,
Stanton,
how can
Jeff.
Stanton, he's another one. I mean, I saw him break down in a live talking about how, you know, he's doing it for his kids. You know, it's like, these are people that stand up people. Too. It's like, how can you look at us and think we're crazy? Like, we created platforms because we care about people and getting healthier because of this pharmaceutical cartel that's trying to enslave you and keep you sick and in this cycle. So it's like these are the people that are speaking up and saying, hey, snap out of it. Like, this is really going on right now. So that's how I always explain it to people. It's like, look at everybody that's speaking up. Extremely health conscious. Yeah. And they have the biggest hearts. You know, do you really think they are selfish and just want to kill grandma? You know,
right? They're either insane or they're onto something. Yeah.
So,
it's such a valid point, and very intelligent people. I mean, you look at Stanton, you look at Alec, both West Point grads, and not that those institutions mean anything anymore, but to a lot of people they do, you know, and it shows you have to have some sort of degree. And Dr. Stanton Hom, he's like, you know, he's got the credentials to back it up. There's a lot of
those.
Yeah, there are.
And it's so funny because even the like more mainstream ones you see, what's that? The senator of Minnesota. Was he a senator and he was also a doctor? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
He was speaking up big time in the beginning. Jensen, yes. He was speaking up big time in the beginning. And it's like every time you look at these people and their credentials and you're like, wow. But as soon as mainstream media gets a hold of them, they're conspiracy theorists. They're dangerous. They're spreading. Dr. Mercola, here's another one.
Yeah, my God.
One of the most respected doctors in Illinois. You know,
in all of the United States, in the world, he had like one, if not the biggest websites of any holistic health practitioner. So, one of the biggest voices, and he put on the misinformation dozen list. Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
and then you have family members. Even Dr. Mercola is speaking up about it. He must have went off the deep end too. It's like, all right, well, just keep watching CNN. It's terrible, but yeah,
man.
Or they can.
This has been great. It makes such a difference being in person, I think.
Oh, it's great. Being able to look and smile. And laugh and, things happening in the meantime with the dog, and you know, because when I'm listening to a podcast, I like hearing that too. I'll be like brushing my teeth. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's one of the best podcasts that I've ever had.
Cool.
Of you too.
Good.
The things that we talked about were so unique and deep and rare.
Well, the cool thing, the reason I love doing podcasts, especially with what's going on right now, is because it gives people also a sense of optimism. Like, yeah, these are my people, you know, like they get it too. You know, I'm not alone. There's so many people that feel alone with the way they believe their beliefs right now and everything happening. And I mean, family structures are being broken, you know, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's like when you listen, I know when I listen to something, it just feels good because you resonate when you're hearing something that you see the same way, you know?
Of course.
You feel the truth.
You feel the truth.
Exactly.
And then you feel the connection. And it's like, I also hope, I was talking to Kevin Jenkins he's a speaker based in New Jersey, and he does a lot of speeches. And I was like, man, I go, give me some tips because you're one of the best speakers out there. He's literally one of the leading. He's also another misinformation dozen guy. And he says, leave your audience with an action item, with something to do. He's like, when you're talking to someone, like, give them something to do, whether it's get their phone out and send a message to somebody, or an act of civil disobedience, you know, every day, whatever it is. And I think that's a really powerful thing that I don't really notice, you know, I don't think of it consciously, but just a suggestion that someone's really practical, like, one act of civil disobedience, what can I do? walk in without a mask.
That's powerful. I mean, to even like say you're at an event and you're like, all right, everybody here, whether there's 500, 1,000, 2,000, pull out your phone and make a post saying this right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be long, but just this. Because somebody's going to see it. Whether you have 2 followers, 200 followers, they're going to see it and they're going to think again about it. They're either going to say, okay, this guy's crazy, or they're going to say, hey, well, maybe,
he's onto something.
Boy, I keep hearing this from so many different angles. Maybe there's something to it.
No.
Because they hear it once or twice, you're crazy. But when they hear it 50, 100, 1,000 times, eventually people are going to start to say, okay, here.
That's why it's so big, man, that when you have big platforms, any platform, but if you have a big platform, don't just think everybody, like, oh, enough people are doing it. No, like, there might be somebody following you. Say you have like 170,000 followers, something like that, around there. Say you have that, and one person that follows you, that doesn't follow any of us, sees you posting about this stuff, and you just you just create an Alex Zach out of that. Or, you know what I mean? Somebody who just goes crazy and is like super passionate and creates a movement within himself. Like, it literally, you can make a difference by just inspiring one person.
One candle can light 1,000 more.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Love that.
That's what's going on around the world.
Yeah.
And I have hope in humanity. Hope for humanity.
Yeah, that too.
You need to, otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah, what else is there to do? And that's why I saw a meme the other day. It said, someone was trying to talk sports, and they were like, do you understand what's going on in the world? How can you talk to me about this right now? And I get it. Like, sometimes we need a healthy distraction, but I just can't fathom, like, getting caught up in stuff besides this. I'm like, I can't imagine how some of the biggest crisis of our lifetimes of the history is going on right now, and not to take a look behind the curtain and look at a couple documentaries or read the books that are available. How do you ignore this information? How do you just not want it to devour and really understand what's going on? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'll say this. Last night, it was my first night in Chicago, and went to see some family, went to see my niece, came back to my dad's house, and he had one of his good friends come over, and he brought a gyro over. He asked my dad if he wanted anything, and he's like, no, actually my son's in, I'm eating vegan with him. And so comes over with this gyro, and my dad had the basketball game on, and I still watch basketball or boxing. You know, that's my healthy distraction. But he started asking me, the guy, he's like, he goes, I have to have heart surgery probably by the end of this year. He's like, I'm on prednisone, he named like 7 medications I'm on. He's like, how did you get into this? And I showed him my picture, and I told my dad, I'm like, you didn't tell him? He's like, I didn't think he'd be interested. So I showed him my before and after. I told him about the documentary I watched, and I go, you should really watch it. I go, actually, why don't we watch it right now? And last night we watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
No way.
And this guy got so inspired. I can tell you this. This guy got so inspired. He said he's going to buy a juicer today. He was actually coming to my dad's tonight again. But and when we watched the documentary, he was on 7 of the medications that
same ones.
7 of the same ones. Actually, like 5 of them were exactly how he laid them out on the table in the documentary.
Wow, how great!
So he got so inspired, and the reason being is because he didn't even know about juicing. This is like a 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
And all he knows is what the medical field. And then when I started showing him this film, and he's seeing a whole different route with nutrition, when he wanted to go get that stomach procedure where they cut your stomach and you can only eat like a certain amount of portion so he can get off pills too. And I'm like, you don't have to cut nothing, man. Like, try fasting on juice for 30 days like these guys did. That guy at the end of the documentary, Phil, he fasted on juice for 60 days. 90 days, lost over 200 pounds, got off all of his medication. That can't hurt, know?
Yeah.
Drinking a gallon of juice every day. Every time he went for blood work in that documentary, it was amazing. He brought juice to the doctor, and he goes, imagine that, I'm bringing medicine to the doctor. It's such a powerful film. And it's like, here, this guy kind of woke up last night, and he left, and he's like, I didn't know. He told me, he goes, you're a great guy. He goes, that was very inspiring tonight. Thanks for sharing that with me. And it's funny because I could tell, you know, because the older generation, they're very hard, stuck in their ways, but you can tell that he's like kind of crying out for help too, you know, like he knows he needs to change. He even said it, I need to change or I'm going to, you know, I'm going to die soon.
To live.
So everybody does. And it's like, we all have a breaking point. So yeah, it was super inspiring last night to see that, you know. I said, let's watch it right now. And he was down. And now him and my dad want to do it 30-day together.
Well, if they do that together, that's going to make it way better. That's what I said. I go, why don't you move in with my dad for a month, 30 days, you know? Because, you know, it's harder when you're at home and you're, you know, if you have family and they're eating different and there's food in front of you. And, you know, most likely because he was a heavy set guy, you know, he's a heavy set on pills, you know, food's addicting like drugs. So
exactly.
It's very easy to say, let me grab a hot dog or something. But you never know. 2 months can change your whole reality.
For sure.
Not just your health, your reality.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing how that can happen. Just like that.
Yeah.
Happens at any... Like, it's like signs from the universe. You just got to take them.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. It was that last night was meant to be. And it's like we kind of went off to a different subject here with freedom, but I think it goes hand in hand, you know, because you free yourself from this, all these food addictions and medications and the pharmaceutical industry. You totally, I mean, it's the ultimate freedom is being healthy.
Health is true wealth.
Otherwise you're just sucked into this pharmaceutical, you know, revolving door, and that's it. And there's no way out.
Yeah. When you think about that too, it's like when your health is compromised, well, your fear is going to be greatly increased because you're thinking, well, you know, they say people with comorbidity, well, I don't know if that's even getting on the news, but people with comorbidities and being overweight are higher risk of getting sick, right?
Exactly. And how are you becoming comorbidity? They're creating it. With the food, with the pharmaceutical drugs, with the chemo.
It's not an aging thing.
Yeah, you're immune compromised now because of your lifestyle choices and the pharmaceutical industry. So
the irony, the things that are getting us better are making us sick, and the solutions are out there. People say, oh, that's not going to work. It does. I watched that documentary you recommended.
Jason Vale, what'd you think?
It's fantastic.
Fantastic, right? It's inspiring. Like so many people, like even when we talk to Jeff, you know, and he's like, I like the fiber too. It's like, but it's so powerful. Like last night's film, if you have not seen Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, you need to do that ASAP. Yeah. To me, if you are on medication and you can get blood work done and be monitored by your doctor, doing a guided fast for 30 days, 60 days, and you think about how fast time goes, it's unreal the benefits you'll see. I mean, that guy Phil, he didn't have no outbreaks because he had like skin eczema, and the longer you go, you're just literally just cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And it's like at a certain point, you're off all these medications. It's like you can change your diet. You can go, like he didn't even work out. He just walked every day. He was like 400 something pounds and he was walking. By the end of the movie, he was running. Wow. And Joe Cross gave him that shirt. I don't know if you remember, it was like a large, and he was a 5X.
Wow.
And he goes, this is the goal. Get in this shirt.
Wow,
you know?
That's great.
And he lost the weight, and at the end of the film, he's running in the shirt. Sorry to give it away, but it's super inspiring. And all he did was juice vegetables and drink them every day. That's it. That is, to me, the most powerful film I ever saw.
The answers are out there.
The answers are out there.
If he can do it, we can all do it.
And yeah, he was a truck driver on 20 meds and 430 pounds and depressed, unhappy, can't move, can't play with his kids, can't, you know, connect with somebody of the opposite sex or the same if that's, you know, what you're into. But it's insane, you know, it literally changed his whole reality. So it's just very powerful. It was very touching. And I think anybody who's suffering or doesn't see a way out, go watch that film.
Good call. Yeah.
And learn how to eat more plant-based, raw, vegan.
I always say juicing is the most powerful tool to incorporate raw.
And smoothies. And
he did it in the film. He goes, look at this. He goes, this is my meal for the day. This is what I'm drinking. Now, if you look at it, there's no way you can eat all this in a day. But the idea that you can juice it and cheat that whole process and get all those micronutrients, that's powerful. Like most people aren't eating 1 to 3 servings, your average American, of raw vegetables a day.
Yeah, and how many servings when you juice? Like 20?
If you're juice fasting in a day, so there's in 30, there's 15, 30, there's 60 servings in a day roughly.
Wow.
Of raw vegetables.
Now imagine that.
In liquid form, that's just going in and cleaning out. And you're getting all those micronutrients, those minerals, that life force that's just going in there and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And before you know it, you're a new man.
Nourishing you into another being.
That's it.
You change cells.
And you wake up. That's what happened to me. You just wake up. That's what happens. You're like, whoa. Like, I'm like, I feel alive. You know,
Yeah,
I can think better. I have more energy. I have more mental clarity. I have more intuitive, like, creativity. And it's just like your spirituality, everything. It just, whoa.
Flowing
That's what
and
happened
growing.
with me. That's it. It's an awakening, you know? And there's no going back. You can't do that and then and then just go back and be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go do this again and eat and get back on the pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah, you're not gonna go back on the drugs. You can slip a little bit, but then you realize, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And once you get to a point, you know, you can't go back.
Exactly. Kind of like myself, like
Yeah.
after losing my mom, I eating the cooked food and binging on like restaurant vegan food, and then it's like, wait, I know what I need to do. I gotta fast. I gotta kick these cravings, get back to eating, because this food is drugs. Food is designed to keep you addicted. Otherwise, you know, these companies wouldn't exist.
So very true.
As I'm like pointing to raw companies as if those are addicting, but you got all these great raw snacks all around here.
Oh yeah, and we
And
got some
some Miami fruit.
fruits.
Shout out
No, that's
Miami
the raw
fruit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks good.
I went to their farm.
Oh, they're
in Florida.
amazing. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
aren't they?
Adele and what's his name?
Rain.
Rain's awesome. Very first fruit luck I did in Miami, like in 2015. I met them. They brought Miami fruit to the fruit luck. I met Tori Washington there.
Huh.
John Badass Vegan came there. Green Gabriella, do you know her?
No.
She has Conscious Community, the Instagram page. It's got like over 200,000 followers, but she was there. Brendan and Carly were there. It was an epic. It was one of my best. I used to just do that. When I left FedEx, I just started traveling and doing these huge meetups everywhere.
They're great.
Miami
You've done the
was
Woodstock?
great.
I did that once.
I've never done Woodstock.
It was
Oh, wow.
fantastic.
I never did Woodstock. There was a lot of drama when I was like getting into it.
Yeah.
And that was when I first met Christina.
Fully Raw Christina. I love her.
Yeah, she's one of my
watch her
best
videos.
friends.
And you got to meet her in her Kauai, right?
Yeah, I met her in 2015 in Houston.
Nice.
I went to her co-op, and we've just been tight kind of ever since. She did a book tour in Chicago. We hung out a lot, and I hung out with her like 5 days, and she's one of the best hearts. Yeah, I mean, she's real. You know, she gets so much hate, like she's fake, and she's one of the realest.
real.
She's one of the realest out there. Pure heart, pure soul.
That's
She's
so
doing it right
beautiful.
now. She's one of the solutions. She's being self-sustainable in Kauai,
With her farm.
growing her own
garden.
food, and she's got like 8 citrus trees. She's doing it.
She's helping inspire others.
Yes.
too.
That's right. I think that's key. It's like, you know, we can talk a lot, but actually living that new earth from all aspects, including being off the grid and stuff, I just think that can really inspire people to a new level.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I think it's great, because she's sharing that, you know?
Yeah.
She is like a solution-based page. You know, when you look at it, it's like she's living off grid. She's growing her own food. She's showing you how to do a garden. She's doing YouTube videos on this, you know?
Yeah.
She's doing it from scratch, putting her peanut grass in. Like, she's the solution.
Yeah, it's a great example to live by. Like, it's an inspiration for me. Definitely. I'm like, goals, how do I do that?
Yeah.
We could do that anywhere we can.
And when you're doing it, like, as you can see with her, it's not work. You know, it's you're
lifestyle.
it's like you're one with the land, with nature, with, you know, the soil.
The way it's meant to be.
Yeah, and you're just recycling with picking coconuts, and I mean, she's got coconuts trees on her, like right in front of her house. It's insane.
She basically lives off of the food, and right? She doesn't.
That's it.
Wow.
Absolutely. She grows her own food. She has planted like 60 fruit trees, different fruit trees. So she's growing a lot of stuff, and then her friends, they all do like these weekly trades with whoever's growing this. Hey,
I
so
like
it's
that.
pretty cool.
A crop swap.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. They got their own little mini crop swap out there.
great.
So everybody's growing their own things, and it's that's why I said, man, it's one of my destinations. I want to go in April. I want to go to Tulum, and then I want to go there.
Okay, we'll go.
And
Maybe I'll come with you to Hawaii. If there's any room there.
I told you, Christina gave me her realtor, and she's like, here,
All right.
and she hooked me up with her, and she's been sending me properties out there, and a lot of good looking things out there for sure.
I'll visit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's a place you visit. It's a place you go and you're like, I don't want to come back. Like when I was there for like 2.5 weeks, I felt like I didn't need anything. I'm like, this is all I need. This is it. Like I didn't have good cell service. I was like, and you're just forced to be just present in this like beautiful universe that you can only like imagine or see in a movie. Cause it was literally filmed like 2 blocks from where I was staying at a place where Jurassic Park was filmed. It was like 2 blocks from there. And, I mean, there's no like, there's no malls. It's different than any other island. It's literally like a giant jungle and, waterfalls, every beach. I went to like 10 different beaches and I couldn't even tell you which one was my favorite. Maybe Secrets. It was the nude beach. It was a really nice beach.
Ooh, I'm going there.
But yeah, it was cool. And everybody was so cool. It was just a different energy. Like I didn't meet one person that was like, you know, semi like on the other side. Not even semi. Everybody that when I hiked down to go to one beach, one of the girls knew me. And then I ended up spending the whole day with them and we all hung out and it was just epic. And I just felt like I felt like home there. You know, it's kind of like the feeling I had when I first went to California. I'm like, I got to move here. When I started having my changes, I'm like, I can't fast in Chicago. I can't live 100% raw long term on Chicago. It's not sustainable.
Tell me about it.
So every time I went to California, I felt like my heart wanted to be there. Kauai, it's a whole nother animal. It's like, yeah. So that's how. But I want to actually see Tulum too. I'd love to see where Ben's at because I love this guy, and it would be great if I love Tulum. It would be great to be there and actually, you know, be with friends. And I mean, there's friends in Kauai too, but I think it'd be awesome. I think we could do a lot out there, like long term, you know, like work
for like a month, you know,
retreats. And I mean, there's so many different possibilities.
Yeah.
So
we should focus on retreats too. I like after watching that juicing documentary you sent me, I'm like, man, that is a good solution.
Yeah.
You know, and we could tie that into other aspects of like awakening, you know, just be a whole educational center, right? I just think it's powerful. Of course. Yeah, that was one of my passions that I used to do before COVID. I had one actually March 20th of 2020. Everybody was signed up and we had to cancel it because of COVID. It was in Idlewild, California, 6,000 feet elevation.
Wow.
Yeah. But we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
But the plan is you go live in a place like Tulum that's already attractable and you host them there, or Kauai, and people want to get away, you know? So it's cool.
Yeah, I know. I would want to get away.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't we?
Retreats are so powerful. I mean,
they open their eyes.
They're. I mean, you get so much out of them. You just leave so inspired. I mean, even if you're hosting it. I mean, every retreat I've been a part of or hosted, it's like, wow, because you're just with your tribe. You're with people that are encouraged to want to change their life. You're with people that are inspired to be around people and be supported. And then you're leaving there because you ate so good the last 5 days. You started juicing. You started learning how to live, you know, because you can coach people, but to actually be with them and hike with them every day, meditate with them every day.
And it's community.
Yoga every day, drinking juice every day, and then talking to them and just kind of letting them live in your world for a few days. It's inspiring because I know it'd be inspiring to me before, because I didn't go to my first retreat for like a couple years after I started making my transition over. So, and then I'm like, whoa, like it's transforming. It really is.
Where was your first retreat?
The first retreat was in Costa Rica. And then I hosted retreats in Costa Rica.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The last one I hosted was in Montezuma, Costa Rica. And we had like 22 people and it was just amazing. We were feeding monkeys and it was great. It was great. And we had some guests come. This Aris Latham came. He's like a legend in the raw food movement. He's got this big white beard. He does every year he does a fast. He's like 70 something. He does a fast for up till his birthday. So every year it's like a 72-day fast. Wow. I mean, even on Facebook, he does it so well and so like detailed that he takes pictures of his poop and he posts it on his Facebook. I mean, this guy's a legend. He's amazing. And he just showed up to my retreat and he's like there, and Karen knew him, and we let him have like a few hours to do a presentation, and He's super inspiring. I have a YouTube video with him. He's awesome.
Let's see
Check
that.
him out. Check out Aris
I don't know who he is.
He's amazing. He lives on coconut water and juices and fruits. He's in Panama right now, or maybe he's somewhere different. But yeah,
A raw food legend.
he's a raw food legend. He's amazing. He has like these bright blue eyes, and he has this big white beard. Really dark African man, but he's a legend. Legend.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll pull up a picture of him
Ooh,
real quick.
yeah. Show me.
He's so great.
I'm definitely going to follow.
Yeah.
So what's his Instagram? Let's plug him in.
Aris Latham. Aris. This is the man right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a raw food chef. He's amazing.
Wow.
Very healthy, too.
Oh, yeah. 70s. Him and
Nice.
Karen are really close.
Yeah, Karen, too, is in such a good inspiration.
Yeah, I'm going to see her. I'm going to see her Friday. I'm going down.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
Flossmoor. I'm going to be driving an hour.
Wow.
But in the morning, because I'm going to come back for
You're
obviously
going down
that.
there. Yeah, it's actually in the same direction, kind of. It's like out west a little bit, right?
Okay.
From where you are. So it's not too horrible coming back.
Yeah.
Because you're hosting the event for Saturday, too?
Yeah, there's the event Friday, right? With
Yeah.
Oh, there's an event Friday,
Well, it's
too.
just to get together the people who are speaking the next
yeah,
day to come
yeah.
out. So yeah,
That's going to
we're
be
gonna-
great. I'm glad you guys are both speaking out there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm
fun.
sitting right next to the speaker.
Hopefully we can get Jimmy out there.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy Levy.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
Last thing about Aris Latham, when he was at my retreat, he created what's called a paradise pie, and it's with,
so good.
as you could see, mangoes. He slices it and papaya, and it's like a pecan crust, and
Wow.
it's literally all fruit, the whole, and it's amazing.
Wow.
Because it's
I'm
tropical
drooling.
fruit. You know, like we're cutting pineapples in Costa Rica that aren't like picked early and shipped to America and then don't ripen well. We're eating like golden, juicy pineapples, and that he made the pie with, and it's like, oh my god, best pie I ever had in my life.
Wow,
the way it's supposed to be.
wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
How fun was
I
this?
need that. Yeah.
My God,
Yeah, this was so fun.
this is amazing.
Like,
Yeah,
we could
I'm
talk
glad-
for like
I know we
the
could.
entire night.
should we do our final thoughts?
Yeah,
or
do
what are your
some final thoughts. What? How would you sum this up?
Well,
Like,
I
everything we
personally would
talked
say we're
about.
on the right track. I mean, a year
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
I would say, man, there's no hope, but there's so much hope. All the videos that I've been sharing lately, like seeing Jimmy posting things, and Ben, the stuff you've been sharing, and the stuff going on in Canada, and just talking with people around me, even here in Chicago, like old friends, and people are waking up. Like, it's happening, right? There is a movement right now, and it's time to jump on the bandwagon. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I feel a shift. You know, I'm feeling a shift, and this is going to be interesting to look back and see how we progress. But unlike any time in 2 years, something is alive. First of all, it was the DC event. Now we've got the truckers. I mean, that's going to wake up so many people. And now, you know what? Those truckers are going to say, we're going to do the same thing. 700 trucks from Illinois are going up to Canada.
Wow.
From Illinois alone.
Wow.
Right? I mean, 700 trucks is enough to make a movement. So anyways, it's just the idea when you show a little bit of creativity, like you know what people can do. And you know what, when you whole movement like truckers, like Wake, you know, they all come together, and the predominant narrative is, okay, yeah, this is the right stand to take, right? Well, guess what? It's going to give all the other, the police, the fire departments, all these other,
The balls.
yeah, it's going to give them the balls to do the same thing. So,
Or the ovaries.
or the ovaries, right?
I like that.
That's true.
Never heard that.
I haven't either.
That's good.
Grow some ovaries.
Yeah, it's gross some ovary. So I'm super optimistic and hopeful,
Yeah.
but I also think that that's time to turn up the heat, not take our foot off the gas, because
That's important.
Yes.
That's a great point, Ben. We cannot take our foot up. We can't get comfortable just because New
Yeah.
York stopped the mask mandates.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
we got to keep the pressure on. Keep these rallies going. Keep them growing.
Yeah.
Even if we don't even know what the hell we're even ending at any. Like wait
Yeah.
until it's all done. Until it's
A
literally.
new change
yeah.
is coming.
Yeah.
A better one than what they have. Because we can create our reality. This could all end now if we all said no to this.
that's good.
Simple
point.
as that.
Yeah,
We all
that's
came
it.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the powers in the people in uniting.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Say no to unjust.
Just say no.
And say yes to Freedom.
Freedom.
Love.
Truth.
Compassion.
Yeah.
And while we're fighting, don't forget to, enjoy your existence.
Yeah.
Go out and play. Go travel still. Hug people. Love people. Do the things you love and make you happy.
And transmute that frustration into passion.
Yeah.
Because
Boom.
on the other side of this frustration, what we're dealing with, you could turn that into passion. And I can speak for us that we're incredibly alive and feeling alive and vibrant from this movement, not defeated from it.
Yeah.
Because you have so much purpose, and we don't have room to feel that overwhelm and that frustration. We're just keep marching, and that energy will come to you.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite movie lines. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
What's that?
Just Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. That was me and my mom. That was one of our things that we always used to text each other. Just keep swimming. That was great. Yeah. When she was going through all of her heart stuff, I would always text her that. How you feeling? And then when I would ever go through something, we'd always text that back and forth. It was pretty cool. I actually got her a charm that's in her car still. It says, just keep swimming, and it's a fish. And on the back of it says, just keep swimming. So now I have it in my Jeep in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, I
So
took it.
Cute.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom's like a good woman for birthing you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. She was amazing.
Yes.
So.
The both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben
Just
and
thank you
Jonny.
for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
This was
on.
fun.
This was so much fun.
Didn't feel like 2 hours. We were just going.
Oh, we
Yeah.
talked about so much.
Yep.
So many good things. And
Yeah.
this is definitely one of the rarest conversations. Like one of the best. I would say probably my favorite.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's been an honor of you two here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everything that you guys had to say and what you guys do and put into action and what you give to the world is so valuable.
Thank you. And thank you, because you're sharing this now.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
more people are going to
marching-
hear, and more people are going to get inspired, and more people are going to create change.
It's a domino effect
Boom.
happening. Boom. Boom.
That's it.
All right. Let me my outro. Thanks for listening, my fruity friends. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this episode. And thanks for having an open heart and mind listening to this. Be sure to stay juicy. Oh yeah, baby. It's Juicy Justine sending you peace, love, and many hugs.
I will say, you got it down. This is nice.
Yeah.
Love it?
I love it.
How did you
It's
figure all
great.
that stuff out? That's impressive.
Yeah,
Very.
I figured out.
I didn't. If I